Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something really fun. We are literally uncorking the science behind sparkling wine. We're going to trace its entire fascinating journey, right from the complex chemistry happening down in the dark cellar straight into your tasting glass. We're looking way beyond the celebration and that satisfying pop of the cork to really understand the incredible, hidden craftsmanship inside every single bottle.
But before we get into how these celebratory drinks transition from what is essentially a bone-dry, mouth-puckeringly acidic liquid into that perfectly balanced beverage we all know and love, we have to ask a pretty fundamental question. What is the secret ingredient that makes your favorite sparkling wine perfectly balanced? Like, what actually sets it apart in the first place? Well, to figure that out, we first need to understand the science of the sparkle itself.
Okay, let's dive right in. It all starts with the wine's signature effervescence. And this comes from something called endogenous, or naturally occurring carbon dioxide. So this isn't just carbonation being pumped into a bottle like a can of soda. No, this natural effervescence is created through specialized production methods. That's either a second alcoholic fermentation happening right inside the sealed bottle, or through what's known as the Charmat method, where they re-ferment the base wine in massive tanks. That endogenous CO2 is the literal origin of the bubbles. And it actually builds up an insane amount of pressure. We're talking sometimes up to 3 times the pressure of a standard car tire, just trapped right inside that delicate glass bottle.
And it's exactly that natural effervescence that creates the festive, joyful sensation that really defines renowned regional styles all over the world. I mean, this is the exact technique that gives us the elegant, classic champagne from France, which is actually where this traditional method originated. It also gives us the incredibly vibrant and fresh Prosecco from Italy and the beautifully complex Cava from Spain. Every single one of these regions has its own totally unique style, but they all share this exact same foundation of naturally occurring carbon dioxide.
All right, now we arrive at the introduction of the winemaker's ultimate secret weapon, the Dosage liqueur. You see, right after that second fermentation completely finishes and the wine ages on its yeast lees, it is entirely bone dry and, to be honest, basically undrinkable. The yeast has consumed literally all the sugar just to make those bubbles, leaving behind a base wine with this fierce, shockingly sour acidity. So, the Dosage liqueur, which is this carefully crafted solution of wine and sugar, is added right after a process called disgorging, and disgorging is just when the dead yeast sediments are expelled from the bottle. Adding this dosage is the final, masterful touch that essentially saves the wine and makes it genuinely delicious.
So, think of the Dosage liqueur like a master chef's absolute final seasoning. It actually operates across 4 totally crucial roles. First up, composition. It's not just sugar water, right? It combines wine, often from the exact same harvest or even aged reserve wines to add depth, with very specific amounts of sugar. Second is adjustment. It directly balances out that extreme harsh post-fermentation acidity by providing the much-needed residual sugar. Third is style control. This is exactly how a winemaker decides whether a wine is going to be a crisp, bone-dry brut or a really luscious, sweet dessert style. And fourth, customization. It allows producers to adapt their final product to hit exact consumer market preferences. So the dosage literally defines the entire identity of the final wine.
To really truly appreciate how this secret addition transforms the whole beverage, wine professionals evaluate sparkling wine through 4 very distinct sensory phases. Because it's not just about taking a quick, thoughtless sip. The evaluation moves systematically through the visual phase, the olfactory phase, the taste phase, and finally, the tactile phase. Let's quickly break down exactly what the experts are hunting for in each of these steps and how that dosage impacts the whole experience.
Starting off, phase 1 is the visual phase. Before that glass even gets anywhere near your nose, your eyes are already doing the heavy lifting. Evaluators are looking for absolute clarity and brilliance here. They're noting the shades, which can range anywhere from a really pale, shimmering gold to an intense yellow, or even a deep pink if we're talking about rosés. But crucially, they pay extremely strict attention to the effervescence itself. They're analyzing the exact amount, the size, and the persistence of those little bubbles as they travel up the glass. Moving right along to the olfactory phase, the nose totally takes over. Here, the taster is searching for a really complex harmony. On one hand, you've got these bright, fruity aromas that reflect the actual grape varieties. Think crisp citrus, fresh apples, pears, or stone fruits. But then, layered beautifully underneath all of that, you're looking for those yeast and baking notes. Because they spend so much time aging on those dead yeast cells, high-quality sparkling wines will give off these incredible aromas that smell just like toasted bread or warm brioche, and they're often rounded out by these very delicate floral nuances. Now, the really crucial point happens right here in phase 3, the taste phase. This is basically the battlefield where the dosage liqueur really shows its power. When you take a sip, your tongue is actively analyzing a super delicate, high-stakes balance. On one side, you have the wine's necessary acidity, which is absolutely vital to provide that freshness and cut through the effervescence. And then on the exact opposite side, you have the residual sugar, which, remember, was entirely provided by that dosage liqueur we just talked about. This push and pull interplay determines the perceived sweetness and allows those beautiful fruity and toasted flavors to fully bloom on your palate.
Finally, we hit phase 4, the tactile phase. Now, this isn't about flavor at all. It's entirely about physical sensations inside the mouth. Evaluators are literally feeling the texture of the carbonation. Do the bubbles feel really aggressive and sharp, or do they feel fine, creamy, and persistent? A perfectly integrated dosage actually helps contribute to the wine's overall structural creaminess and freshness, which makes the sheer physical act of drinking it feel incredibly smooth and refined.
Now, to communicate these sensory experiences accurately, professionals rely on a highly specific vocabulary. Down in the cellar, these words aren't just adjectives, they have very precise meanings. Fineness is used to describe those small, elegant bubbles. Complexity is what you say when multiple layers of aromas and flavors keep revealing themselves over time. Persistence and length describe exactly how long those beautiful flavors linger on your palate after you swallow. And of course, balance refers to that ultimate harmony between the sharp acidity and the sweet residual sugar that came from our dosage.
But how does all of this build from a dark, quiet cellar to a vibrant dining room? Well, the craftsmanship doesn't just suddenly end the second the cork is inserted. Presenting the wine to the consumer involves some seriously meticulous staging. This includes everything from establishing a really strong brand image to the physical design of those attractive, elegant bottles and eye-catching labels. It also deeply involves the finer details of the service itself, picking the exact right glassware to capture those aromas, making sure the serving temperature is completely perfect to highlight the acidity, and mastering the precise celebratory ritual of actually opening and pouring the bottle.
Ultimately, though, all of this marketing, all the elegant packaging, and all that complex cellar science absolutely must reflect what consumers truly desire. As wine experts frequently point out, consumers are looking for the complete package. They want varietal expression, meaning they want to actually taste the quality of the original grapes. They want perfectly textured, extremely fine bubbles, and above all else, they want a harmonious taste balance of sweetness and acidity. And that complex balance, as we've learned today, is born directly from the masterful, careful application of the dosage.
So the next time you pop a bottle to celebrate a big milestone or honestly just to enjoy a beautiful evening, I want you to take a second to look past the joyful fizz, actually watch the fineness of the bubbles, take a moment to smell the brioche and the citrus, and really feel the balance of the acidity and the sugar on your palate. Will you just drink it, or will you truly experience the masterful science and the secret dosage that brought it all to life? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those great questions and keep exploring the fascinating science hidden inside our everyday world.